Don't trust on men's sweat talks when he knows about your breakup. There are moments in life when we feel lost, broken, and desperate for comfort. A breakup is one of those moments. It shakes our confidence, makes us question our worth, and leaves us vulnerable. And in that very moment, when your heart is aching, someone will come along with the sweetest words, offering you the warmth you crave. Heartbreak is one of the most painful experiences a person can go through. It is not just an emotional wound, but a storm that shakes the very foundation of one's being. When a relationship ends, it feels as though a part of you has been taken away, leaving behind an emptiness that words cannot truly describe. The mind becomes a battlefield where memories of the past clash with the reality of the present, and emotions spiral into a chaos that seems impossible to escape. It is in this vulnerable phase that people often find themselves questioning everything. What went wrong, why it happened, and whether they will ever feel whole again. The days following a breakup are filled with confusion and pain. Every little thing becomes a reminder of what was lost. The places you visited together, the songs you once shared, the inside jokes that no longer bring laughter but a dull ache in the heart. Sleep becomes restless, food loses its taste, and even the simplest of tasks feel overwhelming. The mind replays conversations, overanalyzes words left unsaid, and desperately seeks closure that may never come. It is as if the heart refuses to accept what the mind already knows, that the chapter has ended. There is a deep sense of loneliness that creeps in, even when surrounded by people. No amount of distraction seems enough to fill the void, and the world feels colorless. It is during this time that the heart craves comfort, searching for someone or something to ease the pain. Some people drown themselves in work, hoping that busyness will silence the thoughts. Others seek solace in friends, pouring out their emotions in an attempt to lighten the burden. But no matter how much love and support surrounds them, there is still a part of the heart that longs for the person who is no longer there. The vulnerability of heartbreak makes people susceptible to impulsive decisions. In an attempt to escape the pain, some rush into another relationship, believing that new love can erase the scars of the past. Others fall for words that sound like healing but are merely temporary relief. Sweet talk and false promises can seem like a lifeline when drowning in sorrow. When the mind is clouded by grief, even the most obvious red flags become invisible. The longing to be loved, to feel wanted, becomes so strong that it overrides logic. It is a dangerous state where emotions dictate actions, often leading to more hurt in the long run. Regret is another companion of heartbreak. People blame themselves for the things they did or did not do, for the times they could have tried harder or walked away sooner. Guilt lingers like a shadow, whispering thoughts of what could have been different. But the truth is, no relationship falls apart overnight. It is the result of many moments, many choices, and sometimes no amount of effort could have changed the outcome. Still, the mind struggles to accept this, and the heart clings to the past, making the process of healing even harder. The fear of being alone becomes overwhelming. The idea of starting over feels exhausting, and the thought of loving again seems impossible. The pain convinces people that they will never find happiness again, that no one will understand them the way their past love did. It creates an illusion that love is scarce, that the emptiness they feel now will last forever. But in reality, heartbreak is not the end. It is a transition, a painful yet necessary journey towards something better. During this phase, emotions fluctuate like waves. One moment there is hope, and the next there is despair. And some days bring a sense of relief, as if the worst is over, only for an unexpected memory to trigger the pain all over again. It is a cycle of healing and hurting, where progress feels slow and uncertain. But just as wounds take time to heal, so does the heart. The pain may not disappear overnight, but each passing day brings with it a small step toward recovery. People often try to suppress their emotions, believing that strength means not feeling the pain. They force themselves to move on quickly, to act as if nothing happened. But the truth is, healing requires facing the hurt, acknowledging the sadness, and allowing oneself to grieve. Pretending to be okay only prolongs the suffering. It is okay to cry, to feel broken, to miss what was lost. It is okay to take time to heal, to learn, to grow from the experience. Heartbreak is a phase of transformation. It strips away illusions, forces people to confront their fears, and teaches them the value of self-love. It is painful, messy, and unpredictable, but it is also temporary. No matter how deep the pain feels in the moment, it does not define the future. It is just a part of the journey, a chapter in the story, not the ending. Heartbreak is a deeply personal experience, a wound that takes time to heal. When a relationship ends, it leaves behind pain, confusion, and a void that seems impossible to fill. In such moments of vulnerability, people naturally seek comfort, hoping to find reassurance that they are still valued, still loved, and still enough. It is in this fragile state that sweet words can become both a source of solace and a dangerous trap. While some people genuinely offer support and kindness, others see heartbreak not as a wound to be healed, but as an opportunity to fulfill their own desires. There are those who wait for the right moment, not to help, but to take advantage of the emptiness left behind. They come with soft words, whispered reassurances, and an illusion of care. They tell you what you long to hear, filling the silence left by the person who walked away. Their words seem to mend the cracks in your heart, making you believe that someone still sees your worth, that love still exists for you, that happiness can be found again so quickly. But their intentions are not always pure. Not everyone who speaks of love truly means it. Some see your pain as an easy entry point, a way to manipulate your emotions when you are least able to think clearly. The mind, clouded by sadness, fails to recognize the difference between genuine concern and calculated flattery. When someone suddenly steps in with compliments and admiration, it feels like relief. The weight of loneliness begins to lift, and for a moment, it seems as if moving on could be effortless. But comfort given with ulterior motives is like a bandage covering an unclean wound. It does not heal. It only hides the pain temporarily. When someone sees your heartbreak as a chance to step into your life, not to help you heal, but to replace what was lost, their words become a disguise for their true intentions. It is easy to fall for the illusion. When emotions are raw, even the smallest kindness feels like love. A simple text checking in on you, a reassuring conversation, a promise that they will always be there. These things seem like proof that someone cares. But true care is patient. It does not rush to fill a void. It does not use another person's pain as an opportunity. Instead, it allows healing to take place without pressure or expectation. Some people, however, thrive on the vulnerability of others. They know the right things to say, the perfect way to make themselves seem irreplaceable. They speak with charm, with confidence, with the ability to make you forget, even for a moment, the pain that lingers in your heart. But their words are not always backed by sincerity. Some seek validation, wanting to be the hero who saves you from your sadness. Others crave control, enjoying the power that comes with being the one you depend on emotionally. And then there are those who simply see an opportunity for a fleeting connection, knowing that in your moment of weakness, you might not question their intentions. When someone steps in too quickly, offering love before you have had time to heal, it is worth questioning why. Is it truly about you, or is it about their own needs? Are they there to support your healing, or are they pushing you towards something you may not be ready for? The danger of sweet words lies in how they mask reality. They create a false sense of security, making you believe that you have already moved on, when in truth, you have only been distracted from your pain. The right person will not rush your healing. They will not take advantage of your loneliness or use your heartbreak as a gateway into your life. Instead, they will respect your journey, understanding that real healing takes time and cannot be forced. Love that is genuine does not prey on sadness. It waits for you to be whole again. It does not push you into something new before you have fully let go of the past. It is important to be cautious, to recognize that not everyone who enters your life after heartbreak does so with pure intentions. Pain should never be an invitation for someone to manipulate your emotions. Healing must come from within, not from someone else's words. The person who truly cares will not use your heartbreak as an opportunity, but will instead allow you to find strength on your own. Kindness is often seen as a beautiful quality, a reflection of humanity's ability to care for one another. It brings warmth to broken hearts, offering reassurance in times of distress. But not all kindness is genuine. Not every act of comfort comes from a place of selflessness. Sometimes, kindness is a mask, a tool used to manipulate, deceive, and take advantage of others. When someone is vulnerable, when their heart is heavy with sorrow, they become more susceptible to the words and gestures of those around them. They search for kindness, hoping to find relief from their pain. But not all who offer kindness do so with pure intentions. Some see another's pain not as something to be eased, but as an opportunity to be used for their own benefit. In moments of emotional turmoil, people become desperate for understanding, for a sense of security. They crave reassurance that they are still valued, still important, still loved. And in this state, they may not recognize the difference between true compassion and disguised self-interest. There are those who will offer comfort not because they truly care, but because they see an opportunity to gain something in return. They may want attention, validation, or control. They may want to position themselves as the one who is needed, the one who saves, the one who holds power over another's emotions. The words they speak may sound like kindness, but beneath them lies an agenda, a hidden motive that is not rooted in genuine care. It is easy to mistake sweet words for sincerity. When someone listens intently, offers support, and reassures that they will always be there, it feels comforting. It feels like a safe place to rest a weary heart. But not all who listen truly understand, and not all who speak words of comfort truly mean them. Some people extend kindness only as long as it benefits them. The moment their purpose is served, their interest fades. They disappear, leaving behind confusion and deeper wounds than before. This is the cruel reality of misplaced trust. Believing in kindness that is not real only leads to greater heartbreak. There are those who thrive on the vulnerability of others. They know how to say the right things, how to appear as a source of strength, how to make themselves seem indispensable. But their kindness is conditional. It exists only as long as they are getting what they want in return. It may be attention, admiration, or a sense of superiority. They offer kindness not as a gift, but as a transaction, expecting something in exchange. Whether it be loyalty, dependence, or something more tangible, the tendency is to be deceiving. The loyalty, dependence, or something more tangible. And when they no longer receive what they desire, their kindness vanishes, revealing the truth of their intentions. This is why it is important to be cautious, to look beyond words and observe actions. True kindness does not demand anything in return. It does not fluctuate based on convenience. A person who truly cares will not use someone's pain as an opportunity to elevate themselves. They will not seek validation for their kindness or expect constant gratitude. Real kindness is quiet, steady, and selfless. It does not need recognition or praise. It does not manipulate or deceive. However, in moments of heartbreak, it becomes difficult to differentiate between what is real and what is not. The longing for comfort overshadows logic, making it easy to fall into the trap of false kindness. It is tempting to believe in the sincerity of those who say exactly what one wants to hear. But words, no matter how sweet, should never be the only measure of someone's intentions. Actions speak louder. Consistency matters more than momentary gestures. A person who is truly kind will not disappear when they are no longer needed. They will not offer support only when it benefits them. Their kindness will not come with conditions or expectations. To guard oneself against false kindness, it is important to take a step back and observe. Are their words matched by their actions? Are they present even when they have nothing to gain? Do they respect boundaries, allowing space for healing without rushing or pressuring? These are the signs of true care. Those who have hidden motives will eventually reveal themselves. Their patience will wear thin, their interest will fade, and their words will lose their warmth. Kindness is a gift, but only when it is real. It should not be taken at face value, especially in times of vulnerability. Trust should not be given freely to those who merely sound sincere. Instead, it should be earned through consistent, selfless actions. Not all who offer comfort do so with pure intentions. And recognizing this truth is essential to protecting oneself from further pain. The heart deserves kindness that is real, not kindness that is merely a disguise for hidden agendas. Healing is a journey that begins within. When life knocks you down, when heartbreak shatters your spirit, when disappointment clouds your mind, it is natural to seek comfort in others. It is human to want reassurance, to crave validation that you are still worthy, still important, still loved. But true healing does not come from external sources. It comes from within. No amount of approval from others can mend a broken heart if you do not first find strength in yourself. No words of encouragement will truly heal your wounds if you do not take the time to rebuild yourself from within. Pain often creates a void, an emptiness that longs to be filled. Many try to fill it with distractions, with new relationships, with the attention of others. They believe that if someone else loves them, if someone else finds them valuable, then they will feel whole again. But this is an illusion. External validation is temporary. It soothes the pain for a moment but does not erase it. Relying on others to heal you is like covering a wound without treating the infection. It may seem fine on the surface, but deep inside the damage remains. True healing happens when you confront the pain, when you allow yourself to feel it, understand it, and grow from it. Rebuilding yourself requires patience. It means embracing solitude rather than fearing it. It means sitting with your emotions rather than running from them. It means acknowledging your pain without allowing it to define you. Healing is not about pretending to be strong. It is about finding real strength within yourself, the kind that does not depend on anyone else. The moment you stop seeking validation from the outside world and start looking inward, you begin to discover the power that has always been within you. There is a misconception that healing is about moving on quickly, about proving to others that you are fine, that you have overcome your struggles effortlessly. But healing is not a performance. It does not need an audience. It does not require approval. The process is deeply personal, and no one else can dictate how long it should take or what it should look like. Some days will be filled with progress, while others will bring setbacks. But every step, even the painful ones, is part of the journey toward becoming whole again. Many people seek validation as a way to numb their pain. They believe that if they receive enough compliments, enough attention, enough reassurance, then they will feel better. But this only creates a cycle of dependency. When self-worth is built on external opinions, it becomes fragile, easily shattered by a single rejection or a moment of loneliness. Real healing happens when you learn to validate yourself, when you find confidence in who you are rather than how others perceive you. It is about looking in the mirror and knowing that you are enough even when no one is there to remind you. To heal from within, you must invest in yourself. Spend time understanding who you are beyond your pain. Explore your passions, set new goals, and rediscover the things that bring you joy. Take care of your mind and body, not for the sake of others, but because you deserve to be well. Healing is an act of self-love, and the more you pour into yourself, the stronger you become. It is tempting to look for shortcuts, to seek comfort in temporary distractions, but true healing requires depth. It asks you to sit with your thoughts, to reflect on your experiences, to learn from the pain rather than just endure it. It is about finding meaning in the struggles, about turning wounds into wisdom. When you focus on rebuilding yourself, you shift from being a victim of circumstances to being the author of your own story. No one else can complete you. No relationship, no friendship, no amount of approval can fill the spaces within you that only self-love can occupy. You are whole on your own, and your worth is not defined by how others see you. The sooner you embrace this truth, the sooner you will find real peace. Healing does not come from someone else's validation. It comes from the strength you build within yourself. Respect is the foundation of self-worth. It is the invisible boundary that protects you from being treated as less than you deserve. When you truly value yourself, you set standards not because you think you are better than others, but because you understand your own worth. Too often, in moments of loneliness or heartbreak, people settle for less than what they deserve. They mistake temporary comfort for love, mistaking attention for genuine care. But real love, the kind that lasts and nurtures, is never built on desperation. It comes from a place of self-respect, from knowing that you are whole on your own. When you respect yourself, you do not allow fleeting words to dictate your worth. Sweet promises and empty compliments lose their power over you because you recognize that love is proven through actions, not just words. You understand that real affection is not rushed, that true care is patient, and that someone who genuinely values you will never take advantage of your vulnerability. The moment you start seeking validation from others instead of finding it within yourself, you give away control over your happiness. But when you respect yourself, you reclaim that power. You no longer need anyone else to define your value. Falling for temporary comfort is easy when you do not believe you deserve better. It happens when you are willing to compromise your standards just to feel wanted. But temporary comfort is just that, temporary. It fades as quickly as it appears, leaving behind deeper wounds than before. A person who respects themselves does not chase after validation. A person who respects themselves does not chase after validation. They do not accept the bare minimum. They do not allow themselves to be a second choice, a convenience, or an option only when it suits someone else. They understand that their love, time, and energy are valuable, and they refuse to give them to those who do not truly appreciate them. Respecting yourself means walking away from anything that does not serve your growth. It means understanding that being alone is better than being with someone who does not genuinely care. It means choosing yourself, even when it is difficult, even when loneliness whispers that any attention is better than none. Self-respect is what stops you from accepting love that is conditional, from falling for words that lack sincerity, from mistaking momentary interest for long-term commitment. When you value yourself, you do not beg for love because you know that real love does not require begging. You do not try to prove your worth to someone who does not see it because you know that the right person will recognize it without you having to convince them. You do not allow someone to come in and out of your life as they please because you understand that love should bring consistency, not uncertainty. People who respect themselves set boundaries, not as walls to keep love out, but as filters to let only the right kind of love in. They do not let loneliness push them into situations that compromise their self-worth. They understand that their energy is sacred, that their love is a gift, and that not everyone deserves access to it. They choose connections that are built on mutual care, not convenience. Respecting yourself is not just about avoiding the wrong people. It is about becoming the right person for yourself. It is about building confidence, embracing solitude, and understanding that you are already enough. It is about knowing that your happiness does not depend on someone else's presence or approval. It is about creating a life that fulfills you so that love, when it comes, is an addition rather than a necessity. Temporary comfort can be tempting, but it will never fill the void that self-respect does. Love that is meant for you will never require you to lower your standards or ignore your instincts. It will never ask you to shrink yourself, to silence your needs, or to tolerate less than you deserve. The more you value yourself, the more you attract relationships that reflect that value. When you respect yourself first, you no longer fall for temporary distractions disguised as love. You wait for the real thing because you know that you are worth it. True love is patient. It does not rush, it does not pressure, and it does not demand. When someone truly cares about you, they understand that love love is not a race. They recognize that healing takes time, and they do not try to force you into something new before you are ready. The right person will not see your heartbreak as an opportunity to step in and replace what was lost. They will see it as a journey you need to take on your own before you can truly open your heart again. After a breakup, emotions are raw. The pain of loss lingers, and the heart feels fragile, unsure of what comes next. In this vulnerable state, it is easy to mistake attention for love, comfort for connection, and temporary distraction for something meaningful. But true love does not prey on vulnerability. It does not rush in with sweet words and promises just to fill the emptiness. Instead, it gives you space to heal, to find your strength, and to rediscover yourself before offering something new. The right person will never take advantage of your loneliness. They will respect your need to grieve, to reflect, and to heal on your own terms. Healing is not something that happens overnight. It requires time, patience, and self-discovery. It is about learning to be whole again, to find happiness within yourself rather than in the presence of another. A person who truly loves you will understand this. They will not push you to move on faster than you are ready. They will not make you feel guilty for needing time. They will not pressure you into a relationship just to soothe their own desires. Instead, they will wait, not because they expect something from you, but because they genuinely care about your well-being. Love that is rushed is often built on shaky foundations. When someone jumps into a new relationship too quickly, they are not allowing themselves the time to understand their emotions, to process their past, or to heal from what they have been through. They are simply seeking comfort, trying to fill the void with someone new. But this kind of love is not real. It is temporary, a way to avoid facing the pain that still lingers. The right person will never want to be just a distraction. They will want to be something real, something lasting, something built on trust, mutual understanding, and genuine connection. The one who truly cares will never see your healing process as an inconvenience. They will not make you feel like you need to hurry up and be okay for their sake. Instead, they will stand by you, supporting you from a distance if that is what you need. They will understand that your heart is not something to be claimed in a moment of weakness, but something to be cherished when you are ready to give it fully. True love is patient because it is not driven by selfish desires. It does not rush because it knows that anything real and meaningful takes time to build. A love that pressures you to move on quickly is not love at all. It is selfishness disguised as affection. It is someone placing their own wants above your need to heal. It is someone trying to mold your emotions to fit their own timeline. But love that is real will never feel rushed, forced, or timed. It will unfold naturally at a pace that feels right for you. The person who truly loves you will trust that when the time is right, when your heart has healed, when you have found your own happiness again, love will come effortlessly. Love is not about possession. It is not about filling a space in someone's life simply because it is empty. It is about connection, about understanding, about choosing to be with someone for the right reasons. When love is patient, it does not need to rush because it knows that when two hearts are meant to be together, they will find their way in the right time. The right person will never push you into something you are not ready for. They will give you the freedom to heal, to grow, and to come to them not out of loneliness, but out of a genuine desire to share something meaningful. A relationship built on patience is a relationship built on trust. When someone waits for you to heal, they are showing that they respect you, that they value your journey, and that they want something real with you. They do not need to rush because they know that love is not something that can be forced. True love waits, not because it has to, but because it wants to. The right person will never make you feel like you are running out of time. They will remind you that love is not about finding someone quickly. It is about finding the right person when the time is right. Pain is a teacher, not a burden. It is easy to see heartbreak as a sign of weakness, as something that breaks us beyond repair. But pain is not meant to destroy. It is meant to teach. It reveals truths we may have ignored. It exposes illusions we once believed in, and it forces us to grow in ways we never expected. The way we handle pain determines whether we become wiser or let it consume us with bitterness. Heartbreak is inevitable in life, but how we respond to it is a choice. When love shatters, when trust is broken, when expectations fall apart, the natural reaction is to ask, why me? It feels unfair, as if life has punished us for believing in something beautiful. But pain is not a punishment. It is a lesson. Every disappointment teaches something new. About love, about people, about ourselves. It teaches resilience, patience, and the importance of valuing oneself. The hardest lessons often come wrapped in heartbreak, but those lessons are the ones that shape the strongest versions of ourselves. Pain does not make a person weak. In fact, facing pain head-on is one of the strongest things a person can do. It is easy to run from it, to distract oneself with temporary comforts, to numb the feelings with meaningless attachments. But true strength lies in allowing yourself to feel the pain, to understand it, and to learn from it. Running from pain only postpones its lessons. The more we avoid it, the longer it lingers in the background, waiting for us to finally acknowledge it. Heartbreak can either make a person bitter or wiser, and that choice is in their hands. Bitterness comes when we let pain define us, when we close our hearts and refuse to trust again. It happens when we blame the world, when we convince ourselves that love is a lie and people are incapable of sincerity. But wisdom comes when we use heartbreak as a stepping stone, when we take the pain and turn it into understanding. It comes when we recognize that not every experience is meant to last forever, but every experience has something to teach. Being hurt does not mean one should stop loving. It does not mean that kindness should be replaced with coldness or that trust should be abandoned completely. It means learning to love with wisdom, to trust with discernment, and to give with boundaries. It means realizing that just because one person did not value our love does not mean no one ever will. It means understanding that some people enter our lives to teach us something, not to stay forever. Pain should not make a person reckless either. Some, after heartbreak, begin to make choices out of anger or loneliness. They seek validation in places that do not offer real healing. They rush into relationships that do not fulfill them, thinking that someone new will erase the pain of someone old. But love is not about replacing one person with another. It is about healing within so that love, when it comes again, is real and not just a reaction to past hurt. Recklessness after heartbreak only leads to more damage because choices made in pain are rarely wise ones. True healing happens when pain is accepted, understood, and transformed into wisdom. It happens when a person allows themselves to grieve without letting the grief define their future. It happens when someone acknowledges the hurt but refuses to carry it as baggage into their next chapter. Pain is meant to teach, not to paralyze. Every heartbreak carries a message, a lesson that can shape a person into someone stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. Growth is never comfortable. It often comes wrapped in difficulty, in experiences that push people to their limits. But the most beautiful transformations happen after the hardest battles. A person who has been through heartbreak and has chosen to learn from it rather than be defeated by it becomes someone unshakable. They understand themselves better. They see people more clearly and they love with a deeper awareness. They do not allow pain to steal their kindness, but they also do not allow kindness to make them blind. They walk forward with grace, knowing that every struggle was a step toward becoming the person they were meant to be. Pain is not a weakness. It is a doorway to wisdom, to strength, to self-discovery. It is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as part of life's journey. Let heartbreak teach, but never let it make you bitter. Let it guide you towards self-growth, not self-destruction. In the end, pain does not define a person. What they choose to do with it does. Your worth is not measured by someone else's attention. It is not determined by how many compliments you receive, how many people admire you, or how much validation you get from others. Your value exists within you, independent of external approval. You are whole as you are, and no amount of sweet words from another person should be the reason you feel worthy. True self-worth is not borrowed from someone else's perception of you. It is something you cultivate within yourself. In a world where attention is often mistaken for love, it is easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation from others. It feels good to be noticed, to be desired, to be told that you are special. But if your confidence relies solely on someone else's words, then it is fragile, easily shaken when the attention fades. One moment you feel valued because someone praises you, but the next you feel unworthy if they stop. This kind of validation is temporary, inconsistent, and unreliable. It keeps you chasing after approval instead of realizing that you were enough all along. There is a dangerous pattern that forms when self-worth is tied to someone's attention. It creates dependence on external validation, making you feel like you are only important if someone else acknowledges you. This leads to settling for less than you deserve, accepting half-hearted affection just to feel wanted, or staying in situations that do not serve you simply because they provide temporary reassurance. But real confidence is not about being desired. It is about knowing your worth, whether someone sees it or not. The truth is, people's opinions are constantly changing. One day someone may admire you, the next they may be distracted by something else. If your self-esteem is tied to their focus, you will always feel uncertain, constantly questioning your worth based on how others treat you. But when you know your value, it does not matter if someone gives you attention or not. You remain secure in yourself because your worth is not up for debate. Being complete on your own means understanding that love and validation are beautiful, but they are not necessities for your self-worth. It means embracing the idea that while relationships can add to your happiness, they do not define it. You do not need someone to remind you that you are valuable. You already know. You do not need constant affirmation to believe in yourself. You trust your own worth. You do not need attention to feel beautiful, intelligent, or special. You recognize those qualities in yourself without external confirmation. Many people fall into the trap of mistaking attention for love, thinking that as long as someone is interested in them, they are worthy. But real love is not about attention. It is about connection, respect, and understanding. Someone who truly values you will not just offer sweet words when it is convenient. They will show consistent care even when no one is watching. Attention can be fleeting, but genuine love stands the test of time. When you detach your worth from external validation, you begin to live for yourself rather than for approval. You stop making choices based on what will get the most attention and start making decisions that align with your true self. You focus on growth, fulfillment, and happiness that comes from within, rather than waiting for someone else to provide it. You realize that your life is not defined by who notices you, but by how you see yourself. Self-worth is built through self-respect, through knowing what you bring to the table, through understanding that you deserve love and kindness, not because someone else says so, but because you are inherently valuable. It is about setting standards, not allowing yourself to be treated as an option, and walking away from anything that does not align with your worth. It is about choosing yourself first, not in a selfish way, but in a way that honors your well-being. When you truly understand your worth, you no longer need validation to feel good about yourself. You embrace solitude without feeling lonely. You stand strong without needing reassurance, and you appreciate love without depending on it. You realize that you are already whole, and anyone who comes into your life is simply an addition, not a requirement. Life changes the moment you stop looking for worth in the eyes of others and start recognizing it within yourself. No amount of attention will ever replace self-love, and no amount of sweet words will ever be more powerful than the belief that you are enough, just as you are. Thank you.